Today we're going to be talking about what is the Uniswap token and how you could get over $1,000 for free. That's not clickbait. That is the absolute freaking truth, and there's nothing like it. I mean, cryptocurrency offers unprecedented opportunities that do not exist in traditional finance. If you do not understand cryptocurrency, the technology behind it, and what is happening in this space, you are quickly falling behind, and you will eventually miss out on what will be the greatest transfer of wealth in our lifetime. Maybe the lifetime before us and even the lifetime after us. I believe cryptocurrency is the wave of the future. And if you believe cryptocurrency is the wave of the future, smash that like button, hit that bell notification icon, and please consider subscribing. All right, we're going to talk about the Uniswap token. What is it? This is incredible, incredible news. First of all, and by the way, it's not clickbait. They're giving away 400 Uniswap tokens, which have about a $1,000 USD value. Let's look at it right here. I'll tell you how you can get your tokens. $1,230 right now. We'll leave it right here so we can watch it go up and down in dollar value. But I'll show you how you can get your tokens here in a moment, and I'll talk to you about what I'm going to do with my tokens. But first, what is Uniswap? In case you don't know, Uniswap is a decentralized exchange, also known as an automated market maker. But it is the wave of the future when it comes to exchanges. You know, think about a stock exchange. If you have a stock exchange, you have a stock broker. Exchanges are you don't actually go to the exchange per se. You go to a stock broker, and the stock broker basically makes the trade, if you will. In cryptocurrency, the same thing exists. There's places like Coinbase and there's Binance, and they're exchanges, and they basically, instead of your Merrill Lynch broker or your Fidelity or whoever you're using for your traditional stockbroker, instead of them taking the orders to like the NASDAQ or wherever they take their orders to centralized exchanges like that, and instead of the broker taking the orders to an exchange, in cryptocurrency, the brokers also hold the liquidity, meaning that they provide the tokens. If you want to sell, Bitcoin for Tron, then they have the Bitcoin, they have the Tron, and they make that trade for you. They charge a fee. That's where they make money at. So you understand the differences in how a cryptocurrency exchange works and how a traditional stock market exchange works. If you're a stock broker, Fidelity does not hold liquidity when you're trying to trade, Tesla stock for, Netflix stock, for example. They don't actually hold that liquidity in-house. In fact, it's probably illegal to do that. They send that order on to an exchange. In cryptocurrency, the major exchanges, the Coinbases of the world, the Crypto.coms, the Binance, the KuCoins, they actually hold those orders. They actually hold that liquidity on their own books, so to speak, in most cases. And I'm oversimplifying it, but I'm just giving you an example. Once you understand that, now you're going to be able to understand how Uniswap works. Uniswap is decentralized, so there's no Binance to hold the liquidity. So where does the liquidity come from? If I want to trade, for example, Bitcoin for Ethereum here on Uniswap, where does it come from? Well, there are liquidity pools, which are investors. And liquidity pools are one of my favorite investments that I'm going to be talking about more about in the future on this channel. Outside of the mogul mining method, liquidity pools are probably my favorite methods to be able to generate a passive income that's far better than anything that can exist in the traditional financial world. So with a liquidity pool, you as an investor can put up equal amounts of Bitcoin, equal amounts of Ethereum, equal amounts of Bitcoin, equal amounts of DAI, whatever. There's a 0.3% fee charged, which is quite low compared to traditional finance, but that 0.3% fee gets distributed to the liquidity pool. Everyone who's basically essentially put their funds in the pool to hold it. Now, for the customers like you and I who are coming here for an exchange, the reason a decentralized exchange is good is because there's no corporate entity there holding it, holding the funds. You don't have to worry about someone, quote unquote, hacking a big wallet at an exchange. You don't have to worry about, the fact that with an exchange, when you send your monies to KuCoin, you send your Bitcoin to KuCoin, you don't actually own that Bitcoin anymore. KuCoin does. And there's nothing you can really do. I mean, you're very limited on being able to get that back, because you send it to an account, you send it to private keys. With a decentralized exchange, you just make the exchange. It's done through a smart contract. No one's holding your private keys. No one is holding your cryptocurrency hostage. Decentralization is the wave of the future. Decentralization is the reason that there will eventually be, I believe, a major economic revolution in our world. I mean, I always say crypto equals freedom. Decentralization is the reason that cryptocurrency equals freedom. Just to take a step back, those of you who've watched my channel for a while, you know, I love the mogul mining method. I love investing in things like the BFG tokens, the CHIPS tokens, and I talk about those tokens. Those are centralized gaming platforms. So sometimes people in comments say, yeah, but they're centralized. I get it. But right now it's the best use case from a customer standpoint for some platforms, some projects to be centralized. My long-term vision for something like those gaming platforms is when technology gets to a place where it is 100% able to be decentralized. And we're almost to that place with the exchanges now. I mean, this is fully decentralized, but they have to all be Ethereum-based tokens known as the ERC20 token. Okay, we're in the weeds now. So let's just talk about the Uniswap token. So the creators of Uniswap came out with the Uniswap token. What is this exchange? What is this token for? My understanding, and I'm going to read through the blog. Look at that, 1224. That's amazing. By the way, this is anyone who has done an exchange on Uniswap, I think before September, some day in September, anytime in history, including over 12,000 addresses that went to make an exchange and it's canceled. If I find one of my old MetaMask addresses, I probably have another $1,200 there as well. They're literally given $400 worth of tokens. This is real world value. DAI, by the way, if you don't know, is based on the US dollar. So if I sell these DAI, I can cash them out for US dollars. If you've made it a swap on Uniswap, I probably don't need to tell you what DAI is if you've made a swap on Uniswap. But if you've made a swap or you've made a trade at any time on Uniswap, you can claim these tokens now. At the time of this video, this is the value. It's going down. I don't know if it's going to go up. It has the potential to go way up. It has the potential to go way down. I'll tell you what I'm going to do with my tokens toward the end of the video. So why create the token? One of the problems with being an investor, one of the risks, outside the fact that cryptocurrency is risky anyway, one of the risks with being an investor in this platform is that there's something called impermanent loss. And it has something to do with if one side of the transaction, you know, like say you're investing in, and say you're providing liquidity for Bitcoin and Ethereum, and Bitcoin skyrockets, and I think Ethereum doesn't. Basically what happens is as long as the markets are kind of moving back and forth over time within a certain range of each other, you're not going to have impermanent loss. But if one side of the market just takes off and leaves the other side down, basically the 0.3% fees charged by the people making trades will not cover. You're not going to make a profit. You would actually end up losing a little bit of your Ethereum and a little bit of your Bitcoin, more than you're going to get back in the fees. It's a relatively low risk if you're in the larger, more stable type cryptocurrencies, but it does exist. So my understanding is the whole Uniswap token, somehow the mechanism is designed to help offset some of that impermanent loss. Again, I'm not exactly sure how they're going to address that totally, but the Uniswap token at its core is really a governance token. Let's talk about it over here. Introducing UNI. And we'll go through this, and then I'll tell you my plan. UNI, the Uniswap protocol token, is live. That's the address. 60% of the UNI Genesis supply is allocated to the Uniswap community members, a quarter of which 15% of total supply has already been distributed to past users. So past users have gotten 15%. That means one of my concerns is that, you know, maybe people are going to get all these tokens and just cash out. That was one of my concerns. But it might not happen because it's only 15% of the total supply. To start, UNI is available through 4 liquidity mining pools. UNI holders may vote to add more pools after an initial 30-day governance grace period. So it's people are going to be mining it through mining pools. Since its inception, the Uniswap protocol has served as a trustless and highly decentralized financial infrastructure. Inspired by Ethereum's vision, we've committed to the ideals of permissionless access, security, immutability, all indispensable components for a future where anyone in the world can access financial services without fear of discrimination or counterparty risk. This is huge. This is huge. This is why I'm in crypto, ladies and gentlemen. The ability to have a financial system that is permissionless, meaning the government or any other entity can't stop you from doing it or make you do it necessarily. Of course, they could threaten you with jail time or something else. But the idea is that it's permissionless. There's security, immutability, and you're able to access financial services without fear of discrimination or counterparty risk. So that means the same financial market that we have access to, for example, in the developed world, it's possible for someone in the undeveloped world, maybe they have a corrupt financial system, someone like Venezuela even, where that they're, technically somewhat developed. I mean, they're not a third world country, but yet they got the infrastructure, but yet their inflation, their currency is being inflated at a rapid rate. In a future world, everybody's going to have access to the same financial ecosystem eventually. It only occurs through full decentralization, or a highly decentralized in this case, without fear of discrimination or counterparty risk. Now, rivaling centralized incumbents on daily volume, Uniswap's success to date, achieved without involvement of the core development team since deployment, indicates that there is considerable demand for permissionless financial services. In the last 2 years, the protocol has supported over 20 billion volume. Think of that. Traded by over 250,000 unique addresses across 8,484 unique assets. Secured 1 billion in liquidity deposited by 49,000. 1 billion in liquidity. You think about that. People who donated to the liquidity pool, they provided over 1 billion liquidity deposited by 49,000 unique liquidity providers, earning 56 million in fees in the process. Emerged as foundational DeFi infrastructure with integrations across hundreds of interfaces and applications. All right, let's keep going. Uni enshrines Uniswap as publicly owned and self-sustainable infrastructure while continuing to carefully protect its indestructible and autonomous qualities. So this is basically a way of moving towards greater decentralization. I think this is brilliant on so many levels. I've been wanting to do a video and I haven't done it lately, but there's been governments around the world that's actually been kind of attacking crypto, and they do it outright. I think it's India's government that just banned cryptocurrency, or made trading. They didn't ban it, I guess. They made trading cryptocurrency illegal. So you can own it, you just can't trade it. Isn't that interesting? The U.S. has other ways that we will see some regulations, and I believe the regulations are coming that are going to be negative. And I actually predict, on my channel, I talk about, I believe Bitcoin's the future, and Bitcoin and even Ethereum's, Bitcoin's going to hit $1 million. I talk about that. I make cases for that. I tell you why I believe that's possible. But before that ever happens, I believe we're going to have the greatest bear market we've seen to date. I believe that we're going to have a mega bear market caused by government regulations. That's my belief. But I'm still in this space. I steal dollar cost average every month into cryptocurrency because I don't have a crystal ball and I have no guarantee that that's going to happen. But I'm not going to be shocked if we see a mega bull market, because I think the governments are going to attack it either outright or through regulations. Regulations like, they may say something like custodial investors, or they may say things like, hedge funds, large, investment companies can participate, but the average person can't. That's actually a thing, and a lot of people don't realize that. There's a lot of investments that you and I can't, they're considered, certain OTC type investments or pink sheet type investments that you and I are not able. You have to be I think it's a qualified investor, and in order to be able to participate with, or qualified investor, which means you have to make like $500,000 a year or something crazy like that. I sort of say 200,000. If it's 200,000, there's a lot of us that could be qualified. But anyway, you have to be able to make a certain amount to be a qualified investor. And if you're a little guy, you're making, an average hourly wage blue collar worker, you don't qualify for certain investments. And they very well could do something like that one day with cryptocurrency. So moving it towards more decentralization makes it very difficult for there to be an entity that someone could go after, essentially. So the Uni token, it's 1 billion Uni tokens will have been minted at Genesis and will become accessible over the course of 4 years. The initial 4-year allocation is as follows: 60% of Uniswap community members, 60%, here's the allocation. Let's just look at this. 60% go to the community. 20% to team members and future employees with 4-year vesting. Only 21%, less than a quarter, goes to the team. 17% to investors with 4-year vesting. 0.069% to advisors. So this is actually pretty incredible if you take a look at this. This is incredible. The community at large gets the lion's share of this token. I mean, by a long ways. Less than a quarter of the tokens goes to the developers. And look at these numbers here. Look who gets diluted. The developers, their percentage over time ultimately gets diluted. There's like a 2% inflation each year. And the tokens, let's just take a look here. Here we go. What will they use the tokens for? In the meantime, Uni holders will have immediate ownership of the Uniswap governance, Uni community treasury. Basically, they'll be voting on what can happen with the treasury. The protocol fee switch, so the 0.3% fee. Do we raise it? Do we lower it? ETH ENS, Uniswap default list. Like when you go to Uniswap, the default list, for example, right here. This is a Uniswap default list. Where are we at? 1209. SOX liquidity tokens. That's awesome. 1% of Uni total supply. 4% of Uni supply required. Oh, okay. Sorry. How the governance is going to work. 1% of the supply to be able to submit a proposal. 4% to get the proposal voted on. 7-day voting period. And basically, every token is a vote. 2-day time lock on execution. Two-day time lock delay on execution. So it's essentially at its core just going to be a governance token. It's going to be mineable. I was under the impression it was going to be issued mineable by providing liquidity. I don't know if that's correct or not. Someone can clarify that in the comments if you're familiar with it. But at its root core, it's a governance token. And I was wondering at first, I'm like, is this some sort of weird money grab? Because they come out with these tokens all the time. And you just wonder, like, is that some sort of, are they just trying to, somebody trying to just raise a bunch of money and do something with it? But if you look right here, I mean, my guess is with the advisor fees and the investors, maybe the investors, but the team, the community, most of them are not going to be selling their tokens. If they do, they just give up total governance to the community and they have less of a say in the project that they're working up with. So I would venture to guess most of those aren't going to go, get rid of their tokens. Now, let's talk about this for a moment. What should you do with the token? I can't tell you what to do, but I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a cryptocurrency enthusiast, YouTuber, crypto entrepreneur, but I am not, I'm not an investment advisor. But here's my thoughts. I'm going to sell my Uniswap off. Now, I may regret this, my Uniswap tokens. I may regret this. I'm not going to sell them all at once. I'll probably sell about 100 today, maybe 100 tomorrow, the next day, and in a couple more days, another 100 or so. And here's the thing. This price could skyrocket. I mean, DeFi on Ethereum is big. You can't have a more solid team. The other day I was talking about the Chips token. I was talking about how the person behind that gaming platform created TronLink. Well, I mean, no disrespect, but you created something like Uniswap. It's literally one of the greatest projects in all of cryptocurrency. So you couldn't have a better team, a better group of devs behind this project. You literally just could not. So I understand why people would hold these and even buy them. I mean, I'm certain. I mean, this price is holding strong. It's going up and down. I'm certain people are buying this token. And we literally, I would not be shocked if in another week or two or a month from now, this thing could 10x. I get that. That's why I'm not going to sell it all at once. But it also could drop to nothing. I mean, when you have this many people, this percentage of people getting tokens for free, most people want to cash out those profits or they want to move it to another investment that they're more passionate about. However, with that being said, it's going to Uniswap addresses, which means they like Uniswap or they would have never used it in the first place. So you kind of steer towards people who are already in this ecosystem. And, if you're in DeFi at all, you use Uniswap most likely. A lot of DeFi projects have been built on top of or to complement, the whole Uniswap technology. So it's hard to say what people could do. Do I think it could dump? It could, but it hasn't dumped. And I mean, this was released last night, so it hasn't dumped yet. It could dump. Could it skyrocket? I mean, I feel like it's more likely to go up than it is to dump. But there's no guarantee of that. I don't have a crystal ball. So I'm definitely going to sell some of it today, probably 100 tokens. I'm going to sell some tomorrow, the next day. Here's my thing. I'm personally not a fan of the Ethereum ecosystem at this very moment because of the gas fees. They've got to, we've got to get layer 2 solutions on board ASAP. I would much rather own TRX or Bitcoin, Tron or Bitcoin right now personally, or even CRO tokens. I would much rather own something like that. So I'm going to definitely diversify away 100%. That's my away from Uniswap and the Uni tokens. Again, it might bite me, and I'm not telling you to do that because this could be a fool's move. But there's $1,200 sitting here that's essentially free. So, and after I pay probably $50 in gas fees, which is probably what it's going to cost because the gas fees are ridiculous. In fact, I had to move. I've got 20-something dollars in my Ethereum wallet, and I had to move over about a half an ETH. Let's see if I got it yet. Oh, I got it. Thank goodness. So I had to move that over because I didn't have enough to make the. I had like $22 or $23, I think, and I needed $28 or $29, and I'm like, this is just ridiculous. So that's kind of the world that we're in right now. It's just insanity. So I'm gonna sell these my Uni tokens, and I'm gonna diversify other platforms. I just don't like the gas fees right now. I want to stay away from Ethereum for now. Outside of an investor, there's nothing wrong with holding some Ethereum. I hold some Ethereum. I do believe in the future of Ethereum. I just don't believe in where it's at this very moment. I would much rather use it for other cryptocurrency projects. So that's just me personally. I would love to know your thoughts. Where do you think Uniswap token goes? Do you think the price goes up? Do you think it goes down? Are you holding your tokens? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I would love to hear that. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. I've got something big coming up for this channel. I just crossed over 10,000 subscribers at the time of this video, which is awesome. I'm about to launch my book. I've got some more passive income strategies coming to the channel. Go down in the comment section. Be sure to subscribe to the Crypto Passive Profits newsletter. If you want to learn how to earn passive income, be sure to subscribe to the newsletter down in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, crypto equals freedom. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.